Hello. Now what we're going to do, when I told you how to copy a line segment, I told you how to add on to it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add and subtract angles. And this is, a lot of people think that this is hard, but it's really, really not. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to draw your base, your baseline. And so and I'm going to do all three parts at one time because it makes it easier if you do that. This is also the question where it's important that I like having more than one compass. You want to draw your baseline and you're going to mark D on all three baselines. So that's your answer. Now, putting my pencil to the side because I don't need it. I'm also trying to move stuff out of my way. I have a glass desk, and so I have a piece of poster board down beneath it so you can't see through the desk, and that's why you hear clicking every time I put down a compass. It's because it's glass. Okay, to start, we've drawn our baseline, we've marked D. Now what you're going to do is you want to draw a dummy arc, and you want it to be kind of small because you want it to be able to go around all of them. Okay, I'm going to have to pull this back. So I want the same dummy arc for all three angles. So this is my dummy arc. This is also my favorite compass. That's my dummy arc for all three angles. Now I'm going to go down here, and on D, I'm going to use that same dummy arc. Now, I know this question, so I know to make D, and it shifted, almost an entire circle. So for this one, for the first part, D is going to go below the 180 degree. For this one, it's not quite going to go that far, but I'm still going to make almost 100 and I really need this side to be darker. You're going to need almost a 360 degrees here. Sorry about that. All right, so there's my D's. And I'm serious, for these three parts, you want it to almost be 360 degrees. And then I'm setting that compass aside because I may need those dummy arcs again. So, and I'm just going to go up here and say that's my dummy arc. And I'm just writing everything down so that I know where I'm at within the problem. All right, now what I need to do is I'm going to grab another compass, and I'm going to grab, I really need one more. Oh, I had one more. I have the bad one. Okay, there we go. Do not have one in there. Okay, so I'm going to take my compass, and I'm going to measure angle A. So that means I put it down here on the bottom ray, and I'm going to measure to the top of the ray, and I'm going to mark it. Okay, then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to put it on the baseline here, and I'm going to mark it on my dummy arc. And since all of these start off with the measure of angle A, I'm going to mark them all. Okay? And I'm going to set that compass aside. Now I'm going to grab my pencil, and I'm going to write, this is the measure of angle A. Measure of angle A. Measure of angle A. And I'm even going to come up here, I'm going to write the measure of angle A. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little check mark on all three questions because that's what I've done. I've done the measure of angle A. Now I'm going to come over and I'm going to grab, take a deep breath, I'm going to grab compass 2. I feel like I'm talking really fast. I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to measure base angle to the top. And I'm going to measure angle B. Okay. Now, in this part, I'm adding B. So what that means is I'm going to rotate my paper a little bit. I'm going to go right here to where A is crossing. Now remember that when we are adding, when we're in a circle, so we're right here, when we count degrees, so we go this way, right? So we go, so this would be, so if I'm looking at this angle, I would say that this would be about 30 degrees. Then I would say half of it would be 45 degrees. So we measure going counterclockwise, correct? So when we measure angles in a circle, we go counterclockwise. That is why I started here, because we measure angles counterclockwise. Right? So when I go to add B, I don't go back clockwise, I go counterclockwise from the measure of angle A. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to mark B here. So right here, this is the measure of angle B. Okay? And so now I am done with this question, because I was adding. For part B, I'm subtracting. So I'm going to go, instead of going, so I'm here, right? So instead of going counterclockwise, I'm going to go back clockwise because I'm subtracting from A. So I'm going to go to the measure of angle A, but I'm going to go back this clockwise. So this right here is the measure of angle B. For C, for the third part, I'm going to have the measure of angle here. I'm subtracting B, so I'm going to go back clockwise. So I'm going to take A, and I'm going to go back the measure of angle B. Now I have done the measure of angle B for those two. Now, this one is done. And this one is done. And this is the measure of angle B. Okay, so I'm done with those. Now I have to do the measure of angle C. Deep breath. Going to the measure of angle C, gonna take it in, and my compass is off because it's not lining up. So I'm gonna take it out, put it down, tighten it up. Now, base, okay, so that's the measure of angle C. Am I adding or subtracting? I'm adding. So I'm going to go to the measure of angle B. Why did I not go to A? Because I ended at B. I didn't end at A, I ended at B. So I'm going to go to the measure of angle B. Do I add one C? How many C's do I add? I add 3 C's. So that's one C. Now I go to C, I'm going to add another C. I go to C, I add another C. So I'm going to add 3 C's. So this is the measure of angle C, the measure of angle C, and the measure of angle C. And so now I draw my answer. Okay? So I end up here. And what I like to do is tell you that this right here is my answer. There and there. And so this right here is my answer. And here and here and this right here is my answer. And that's all you do. So it's not that hard. I do want to put that this is the measure of angle C. And I'm done. And I'm done. All right. So let me know if you have any questions.